Welcome to New York Women in Communications Tips from the Top series. Today I am joined by the Senior Media Executive and President of The Blaze, Betsy Morgan. Betsy, thank you so much for having us at The Blaze.
Jackie, nice to have you. Welcome to The Blaze newsroom.
I wanted to start talking with you about risk-taking because you are a risk-taker. You were in CBS News for 10 years, great position, and then you decide to go to a then very little known Huffington Post, which blew up and became huge, and you were the CEO of that. And then you leave the Huffington Post in 2011 to join The Blaze, which was only 4 months old. So how do you decide to make that kind of career gamble?
So I'm a risk junkie, and I'm always up for a good adventure, and I've had two amazing adventures, building the Huffington Post and now being part of the team at The Blaze. The newsroom that you see behind you did not exist 2+ years ago. It was really tired, dreary, midtown office space, and we've transformed it into this multimedia, multi-platform newsroom. And give me a challenge, give me a hill to climb, and I'm all for it.
When you moved to The Blaze, there was some kind of criticism. How did you handle that?
Criticism is always good. It's always good to have a good, open, transparent conversation. And a lot of people called me crazy. You know, how different it is to go from working in the center-left space to the center-right space. And for me, there was so much commonality between working with Ariana and working with Glenn. Both leaders are enormously fearless, tremendously creative, really thought-provoking. There was nothing that they couldn't do and they didn't want to build, and that was the adventure and the sort of adrenaline thrill that I've been on.
You do really build newsrooms. So would you say that's your personal brand?
I consider myself, certainly through my experience at HuffPost and now at The Blaze, a real disruptor in the news space. And one of the things that was really fun to do at Huffington Post that I couldn't do in established media at CBS was to throw all the rules out the window and start totally afresh with a new team, a new set of rules, a new way of covering the news, a new way of thinking about digital news, and we've done a lot of the same here.
What kind of qualities do you think are essential for a newsroom?
Well, certainly anyone working in a newsroom or anyone working in the news business has to be enormously organized, highly transparent in all the work that they're doing. They have to be very, very disciplined. And I've had the great pleasure of working with young people and more seasoned veterans in the newsroom, both on the television side and on the print side. And the one common factor that all these folks have is they're hungry to go to work every day, and they're going to chase down the story no matter what.
The newsroom is an exciting place, but then it is an industry and it is some sort of corporation, and you are negotiating a salary. That's one of the things that a lot of people say women have trouble with. Women have trouble with negotiating salaries. What was your best bit of advice, having been in a leadership position at many different organizations? How do you negotiate a salary with the boss?
The first thing that I think a lot of us, both men and women, don't do in going into a performance review or a salary negotiation is know your facts. Know from an industry standpoint what others are getting paid, how others are being compensated. Really have a really strong body of knowledge so you come from a position of strength when you're having that salary conversation. And the other thing that I think is really important is if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So do something that not enough women do, which is go out on a limb, take a risk, ask for something that feels a little bit out of your comfort zone, a little bit bigger than maybe you believe you should have. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it.
One of my favorite questions to ask people is not for the best advice. It's the best advice that you've ever received. Can you pass it forward?
It's so funny that you say pass it forward, because I'm going to say the best advice that I ever received, and gosh, I do it every single day, is to pay it forward. I feel like throughout my whole career, I've done a pretty good job of paying it forward, and certainly all the fantastic work that New York Women in Communications does for its young members is about paying it forward. So I say to all the women out there, and the men, just keep paying it forward.
I like that. Well, thank you so much, Betsy.
You're welcome.
You can catch more of New York Women in Communications Tips from the Top series on our website.